Race fans, rejoice! Is this real life? Could this possibly be true? Crankworx mountain bike racing in the summer of 2020. Pinch me, people. It is on. Welcome to the Cliff Crankworx Summer Series. Stop number 1 kicking off at SilverStar Resort near Vernon, British Columbia. Cam McCall, I'll be your host for this 3-week series, and I'm lucky enough to be joined by professional downhill racer and number cruncher extraordinaire, Elliot Jackson. Elliot, how good does it feel to see racing on your screen?
Oh my God, I feel the same way. This is probably the first time in the last 10 years that I haven't been traveling, all year long, but to see Crankworx put this together, last minute, how well it looks, and I'm just so excited to see what these athletes can do.
It's ridiculous. I know this came together last minute, but big ups to the Crankworx crew for putting this all together, going by the guidelines to be COVID kosher, getting temperature checks for all the racers and all the staff on site there at Vernon, British Columbia. Where is SilverStar Resort? Where is Vernon, British Columbia? Let's zoom all the way out to outer space and proceed to zoom right in to the west coast of Canada. A great place to out at. Plenty of lift access mountain bike parks, SilverStar being one of those favorites, and a great place to kick off this series. What is this series? Well, there's 25 invited racers between the men and the women category, 25 overall BC residents. They're going to be competing in 4 different disciplines: enduro, dual slalom, air downhill, and downhill at the 3 stops. Of course, SilverStar kicking off right now, and then it'll be Kicking Horse next week and Sun Peaks in Kamloops the following week. But right now it's all about dual slalom, but this is not the first race at this venue and not the first race of the Cliff Crankworx Summer Series. There have already been some points divvied out to those racers, and that was from the SilverStar Enduro race. We did not have a broadcast for that, so let's take this opportunity to check out a highlight recap from the SilverStar Enduro.
Feels good to get the enduro done. It was a pretty decent sized day for, I don't know, getting back into racing after being off for so long.
Yeah, results aside today, it was just unbelievably fun to get back into riding, like racing, and being on the clock and racing other people. There's been a bit of a hole in my life, and I think I've sort of filled that today.
You know what, Finn? And of course, race fans felt like there was a hole missing, but we're filling it now with some racing action here. That man right there, we just heard from Finn Isles, took the win for the men's category in the enduro. Casey Brown took the win for the women. Take a look at this list of accomplishments for this young racer, Elliot.
Yeah, it's so impressive. I've been watching him over the past, 5-6 years, and he can do anything. Wins A-line race, just right up there in the World Cups. Yeah, this series is kind of made for him.
Well, there's the first time we get a chance to look at our brackets here. We've had qualification already, and this is what it looks like when they hit the course. What are some of the matchups that really stand out for you there, Elliot?
Well, to me, one of the things that's really interesting is coming from enduro, it's so shaken up. A lot of the typical enduro guys like Remy Govan and Jesse Melamed didn't, do as well as we would have liked. But then here's Jesse Melamed behind Bass, somebody that we think of as a slalom specialist.
So yeah, qualifying very interesting. Bass van Steenbergen took top honors in the qualification. He helped design this course and he's a slalom specialist, so that's no big surprise there. Finn Isles only a quarter of a second back in second place in the qualifications, then Jesse Melamed in third. But you know what's interesting is we're not on site. I'm in Bend, Oregon. Elliot, you're in California, so we have not had an opportunity to walk this dual slalom course. So let's take this chance to take a peek at our Stans course preview with Trevor Burke and Bas van Steenbergen.
Hey guys, Trev here for your Stans course preview at the SilverStar Duel Slalom. Today I'll be taking you on course with Bas van Steenbergen, local guy, course builder. Let's see how I match up.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Alright, so we're rolling into the first triple. That's a pretty tech move.
Got it right, race Bas van Steenbergen right now. King section, Bas doubling everything.
Long rhythm section into some dirt flat corners. Well, these are getting a little blown out. And then into the grass turns. These will be pretty key for the race.
Lots of loose, bumpy grass. One more turn to finish. And if I can finish that close to Bas, which I won't, I'll be stoked. No bumps.
Yeah.
I like the looks of that, Elliot. What do you make of that course?
Yeah, I was actually cracking up just how calm Bas seems. He helped design the course, and I think it shows in all the little tight, really technical turns he put in there. I think it'll be a really good race and be super interesting.
I agree. I mean, you can tell that that was a Bas van Steenbergen designed course right there. The type of course that requires a whole lot of quick direction change and rhythm. But what do you say we get into racing here? Heat number 1. We've got Reese Werner going up against the man himself. Started. Let's listen in. They're off, Elliot.
Just the gate start. Bas has been, he actually was trying to train for a BMX Supercross, so you can see those gate starts really pushing into that turn there, and just trying to hold speed here.
Gosh, he's looking fast. Bas with the early lead here. Bas van Steenbergen through the line first. The question is how much? 0.68 will be the differential that Reese Werner will have to make up once we get them back to the top of the course and we switch sides. In the second run, if you're behind, beat the person in the second run who beat you in the first run by more than they beat you by, and that's how you make it out of the current round into the next round in this instant elimination format. We've got our next heat loaded up in the gate at the top of the course now. Kirk McDowell going up against Woolley. Casper Woolley, the youngster out of Squamish with so many KOMs. This will be interesting to see how he fares.
61 KOMs.
That's absurd.
Too good.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
One of the things that I'm interested in here is this turn. So you can see that inside lane, they're wanting to kind of oversteer. And I think as the riders get more and more comfortable, they'll try to come out of there more straight, because it's really about coming out of that turn and how much exit speed you have.
Yeah, well, very tight matchup here between Woolley and McDowell. A small differential, just 0.19 in favor of McDowell. I hear you on that, Elliot. Come out of that left-hand corner into the rhythm section. You're not going to be able to squeeze pedals, and you want to have enough speed. And you want to have the right lineup to be able to double through those.
0 to 100 pretty quick on that one.
All right, next heat up in the gate. Remy Gauvin on the left side of your screen going up against Fabian Cusini on the right. Let's see what we got here. The last matchup was super close. It seems like these courses are pretty even as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's always nice. Really good mentally when you're riding a slalom track and the course is even, because you don't feel like you're behind.
Kind of gauge your performance off of how close you are.
Totally.
Cusini out to an early lead, it looks like.
Yeah, Fabian's actually really good on the small back. He used to race World Cups back in the day and has just been kind of an all-around guy for a while now. Remy right there, known as being an enduro guy.
Who do we got next here? All right. Trevor Burke going up against Seth Sherlock. Now Seth Sherlock, a youngster, so making great results last season. He's gonna have to get by Trevor Burke.
Yeah, and Seth is on intense on Aaron Gwynn and Mika Malali's team, so I'm sure, I know they had team camp, so I wonder if Aaron gave him some tips. The interesting thing about the rhythm section, you see some people trying to manual and roll those first ones to gain speed, but I feel like there's probably a fastest line through there, like either doubling or full manualing one of them or something. I think as the night progresses, we'll see that.
That'll be fun. Yeah, to watch this and see what manifests as the fastest way through that rhythm section. Well, the fastest rider through the course, it looks like it was Trevor Burke by 1.27. I was distracted by that FPV drone angle we had. That was pretty incredible. All right, so advantage going to Burke there, and we get a look at our brackets right here. This is where we're going to get into the swing of things, understanding how this works. Van Steenbergen had the advantage, and his name's lit up in white, so I'm assuming that's how this is going to work here. We'll get them back up to the top, but we still have 4 more heats to go in this round of 16 for the men. Let's see who else can light up their names in white. So it looks like, okay, that was Seth with the advantage. That's what I thought there. So we just had that fixed there. It was Seth Sherlock with that 1.27 advantage. Is that Remy there, Elliot? Oh, it's Jesse. So not a guy we typically see racing dual slalom. We caught up with Jesse Melamed about that. Take a listen.
I would say SilverStar Duel Slalom because Bass built the track for it. But I just like watch those races a lot, and I think it's so cool, the aggression and the speed that discipline has, and I just want to try to get that. I don't know what it's like to be right next to someone, so that's going to be super interesting, and GateStar has never done it, so that'll be a learning curve. I'm looking forward to trying it.
Well, we're looking forward to watching you do it, Jesse Melamed, because you qualified in 3rd place, only a quarter of a second behind the course designer builder Bass Van Steenbergen. And this will be his very first time going up against somebody in an actual race here in slalom.
The BMX riders, they're just so comfortable in the gate that they are more comfortable with their feet on the pedals. We were laughing at Team Rocky gate start.
Yes, look at it. He just had to unclip too. So Jesse Melamed on the right side of your screen there, getting used to this gate start. They do not have that in Enduro, it turns out. But once he's on course, I mean, he was 3rd place qualifier, so this is going to be good.
Yeah, obviously it didn't slow him down any.
Oh, good. We still have the drone. Yeah! This is too cool, man. Oh, wait. Tight racing out of these two. Who is it going to be, Elliot?
Oh!
Lucas Cruz with a pretty healthy advantage there. Let's look at our scoring graphic to see what that differential was.
So I didn't pedal at all.
Oh, that's the worst. When you just lose to somebody and they're talking to you about how they didn't pedal at all. Wait, real nice, Lucas. Exactly. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, I had a flat.
All right, what's it gonna be?
Also, my handlebars weren't on.
Wasn't paying attention. All right, back up to the top. Our next matchup is loaded in the gate here. We've got Mark Wallace going up against Henry Fitzgerald. And if you think about Mark Wallace, who typically races the World Cup season, hops into a Crankworx event every now and again, this is a very, very different schedule here, 3 back-to-back weeks. So we caught up with him about that topic, and he had this to say.
Good job. I think the biggest hurdle for the summer series is just going to be just trying to be consistent throughout the 3 weeks and the 12 races. Like 12 races is a lot, and to pack that into 3 weeks, it's gonna be taxing. Like, I mean, a week at Crankworx is hard normally, and now we're doing 3 weeks back to back. Like I do 12 races in a year normally. So yeah.
So I think, Elliot, throughout the next 3 weeks, we're going to be talking a lot about pacing, strategy, stuff like that. Right now, we're talking about Mark Wallace on the left side of your screen going up against Henry Fitzgerald. Let's see, Mark Wallace qualified 6th place. Fitzgerald qualified in 11th, so let's see who takes this one.
Yeah, it's super interesting thinking about these like, it's just so many races packed into one. And these guys, you know, Mark Wallace as well, like you don't normally see him on his bike, but a downhill bike, but it's awesome to see, like, you just see him roosting that turn, getting wild. Just good bike riders.
Mark looks to have the advantage. There you go. Mark Wallace crossing the finish line first, but wow, they were tight.
Questionable for me to
What to say?
I just locked the brake, tried to get around it, but yeah, my back tire one like the wiggly ones. Yeah.
Oh man, anytime you put an athlete and a competitive person in the gate, they're just gonna go for it. I feel like everyone here has just so much competitive energy built up, and they're just trying to just make sure that they do all that training justice.
So Mark Wallace with the advantage over Henry Fitzgerald right there, as we send our flying little robot camera back up to the top of the course to get a peek at who will be occupying the gate here for our next heat in the round of 16 for the men out in beautiful SilverStar Resort. Who do we got here, Elliot?
Man, so McKay Vesna, I've known this guy since he was like 10 years old. You know, it's actually really funny because we would normally know everyone by their kit, but both these riders are on new kits this year. Elliot Jameson on a new team. And McKay also just no slalom experience, but is used to being on this bike coming from Enduro.
So let's see how he fares there.
Took a different line there with double, single return.
Okay, leading the charge here for somebody without very much dual slalom experience. He sure seems to be adapting pretty quick. All right, McKay Vesna through the line ahead of Elliot Jameson by 0.73.
I skipped a gear out of the gate. Like,
I love this Xanter at the bottom of the course.
So Air 5.
Yeah, man.
I wonder, I think we should count how many times like somebody says like I just had the best run ever, and I bet it'll be like 0.
Yeah, exactly. You know what's cool though is it would obviously be amazing to have this entire course lined with screaming fans and vuvuzelas, gorgonzolas, the whole 9 yards. But with it being so quiet, we really get an opportunity to hear what the racers are saying to each other in the gate and in the finish line crowd. So let's try to take advantage of that. Uh-oh, look who we have in the gate. Elliot Jackson, Finn Isles, the man to beat right now. He took the win in the SilverStar Enduro. Who is he going up against? Oh, this is going to be good. I remember this guy. Look at that, man. Jacob Jewett, Elliot.
Man, this
Tell me a little bit about Jacob.
He, you know, last year at Crankworx Whistler, it was impressive to see him on the pump track. I rode that track, and it was more technical than any pump track I'd ever ridden. Had a lot of turns, had even some braking in it. So for him to not only have the skill, but to be able to execute on that is just crazy.
And that is not a typo. Age 17, he blew minds in the pump track last year in Whistler of the final stop of that 2019 Crankworx World Tour. And we were looking forward to seeing him on the World Cup Tour, on the Crankworx World Tour. It's great to have him here for the Cliff Crankworx Summer Series. But he's going up against the second qualifier and the man who won the Enduro, Finn Isles. This should be a good one.
Yeah, this should be good. Jacob with a really good gate.
Jacob on the hardtail.
Yeah, right. You can kind of see, like, I'm interested to see how the flat turns go for the hardtail, because normally,
Yeah.
you would ride a full suspension to with traction, but looks like he's going back some time.
So Finn Isles through the finish line first. Jacob Drew at 0.91 behind. That's a definite interesting bike choice for dual slalom racing here. This course has a lot of flat turns on it, so the hardtail is obviously going to come in handy in certain parts of the course, but Finn Isles using that suspension to his advantage.
I saw your front wheel. I was like, he's coming into me.
You can see
like,
what they're talking about when Jacob
like,
jumped into the
out of
turn
corner,
before the
out of
rhythm
corner,
section.
I was like, his front wheel, I was like, oh, no.
He almost went over the berm. You could see him, like, Finn was talking about his front wheel, like, coming into his...
All right, so we'll get them back up to the top of the course. We'll give that advantage to Finn Isles, and of course, we'll re-rack everybody, switch sides, and cut the field in half. I believe that's all of our 8 heats. There it is for our round of 16 for the men. Van Steenbergen getting the advantage over Werner. Isles getting the advantage over Jewett. Could we possibly have a collision course here between our number 1 and 2 qualifiers? Time will tell here at the Cliff Crankworx Summer Series. Halfway through our round of 16 for the men. Do not go away, more racing to come. Well, welcome back to the Cliff Crankworx Summer Series. Of course, a big thanks to all the sponsors making this possible. Of course, Cliff Bar for keeping everybody not hungry out there. Send it, whip it, and keep on with Cliff Bar. Maxis, tread victoriously, and of course, the local BC brand helping make this all possible. Designed in British Columbia, that's Norco. So Elliot, we've seen half of round of 16 right now. We're gonna send them back up to the top. This is delivering, to say the least.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I've noticed in the first round is there's been a lot of mistakes. Every time you see somebody coming into those flat turns, I was talking about the difference between seeing someone ahead of you, even though you might not be behind on time. You really want you want to push, like you want to go as fast as you can. So you're seeing a lot of mistakes in those flat turns, and then really trying to get those first couple of sections down. So I'm interested to see what it looks like when they switch lanes.
For sure, it's so easy to get too antsy in dual slalom, and this course in particular, it's just so action-packed. It's kind of non-stop. You're doing something physical. There's no breaks, no flat. And I think that'll really make for some interesting racing for us. And especially now that we've kind of seen everybody take one run, we kind of know what we're up against here. We've got everybody back to the top, switch sides. We're gonna kick things off again where we left off. So Bas Van Steenbergen on the left side of your screen. He has the advantage over Werner. He's gotta hold on, stay consistent right now, not take too many risks if he wants to make it into the round of 8.
Yeah, these times yesterday, Reese only beat Bass by 1.2 the whole enduro, so they've got some already coming together at Crankworx.
And it turns out Bass, he really likes to win. He doesn't like coming behind somebody by even a half a second. What do you say, it was a second and a half? So Bas Van Steenbergen making a statement right here on the course he designed and helped to build. And he will be moving into the round of 8, sending Reese Werner to the showers. He'll be focusing on downhill.
I was so nervous, like, in the left, I'm like,
On the tight one. Right. Dude, it's getting pretty rough. I'm surprised. Yeah.
I was hoping to hear Bass
dirtier-
make a comment complaining about the course or something. That would have been classic since he designed it.
No,
But
it
no
looks
complaints
more
out of
like
anybody,
than it is.
seemingly. But geez, let's talk
It
about
was
Bass
hard,
not
like, that
even
rhythm section, every time I
holding
look
it
at
safe
like,
there.
man,
He
that's
still had a
pretty gnarly.
2-second advantage
when
in
you're
that
in
second
it.
run where he already came into it with an advantage. So he's looking good to defend that first place qualification time. That's always a bit daunting, isn't it, when you qualify first?
Yeah, it's all yours to lose, you know. And I think a lot of the time, sometimes people peak in qualifying, so you have your best run, and then you kind of where do you go from there? So a lot of the times, you might see people qualify well, but some people perform their best until, you know, semifinals or finals, where you actually have something on the line.
Everybody has that friend who peaked in high school too, you know what I mean? It's the same thing. It's all downhill from there. All right, what do we have? McDowell and Fitzgerald?
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Yeah, so we see that case there coming into the turn. Also talking about it getting rough. Casper just blowing out that turn here. I think you see the water getting put down on the track, and you're used to. Oh my god!
Oh. Good?
So eventful in the final straightaway there. What did you see, Elliot?
Yeah. Sounded gnarly in that.
I was wondering if, I mean, he sounds cool as a cucumber. I would have been like losing my mind.
So on the edge of control out here. It's really interesting to see. I mean, these two riders in particular, both choosing to ride the 29er trail bike on Duel Slalom, and it seems like the right choice, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I feel like, you know, you really only have, you have that tight switchback up to the start, and then the one berm turn, and then it's all flat turns from there. He burped his tire in that berm, and then was still going for it.
Yeah,
that
he
was
burped
crazy.
Huge in that left-hander.
I saw you like
surprised
make
he
that
had-
mistake, and then I just like cruised in, and I was like, wait, like I don't even know. I didn't know.
I'm surprised he had air for the rest of the run, but so much aggression out here attacking this course. And it really does seem like those 29ers are the right call. This course is like a micro little, I mean, it's a trail section. It's not like your typical slalom course that's suited for a hardtail or a short travel bike. This is full on aggressive.
Let's see, waiting for the good gate start. Ooh, Remy pulling a manual out of the turn. Cool. Wow. They just
So
look like
Fabian
they're
Cusini
skiing
had
like,
the advantage in the first run. Oh,
That's
and
so
look at this, Govan
impressive.
crossing the finish line ahead here, so we're going to crunch numbers. Look at that. So Govan coming from behind, despite having that differential against him, will knock out Fabian Cusini.
That will be tight.
That's what's up right there. It's keeping your head on straight, even though you have the differential against you, have that disadvantage, and still just riding your own race. So that was really impressive out there from Remy Govan, knocking out Fabian Cusini.
man, I love.
Govan into the round of 8. Let's see who we have next.
One thing that I think is really cool to focus on is how the riders, now that the little ruts and stuff like that are getting pushed out, you'll see people move their bike in a different spot. Like, yeah, Seth, his first year, junior, and he's on intense this year, and so I think he'll be one to watch. He did really well in the last stage of the enduro. So coming into pump track should be good.
Yeah, I mean, we got those two youngsters that we have to keep our eyes on as possible underdog dark horses. Seth Sherlock is absolutely one of them. Jacob Jewett the other, both from the Sea to Sky area. Squamish locals right now. Sherlock on the right side of your screen going up against Trevor Burke.
Okay, riders, random start.
We got the youngster versus the weathered veteran here. Oh, Trevor Burke almost losing it. If I remember correctly, Seth Sherlock had the advantage from run number one. He crosses the finish line first, which means he will move into the round of 8.
Because his grass turns real good both it.
Yeah, that's sweet. Yeah, I just started cruising at the bottom there.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, no point of.
Yeah, I told you not to.
Cracks me up.
No point in giving there at the bottom.
That was good, man.
Ew.
Yeah, nice racing you did. That was fun.
We always talk about mountain bikers being, you know, very, like, having so much camaraderie and having good attitudes, but there's still that racer in them that's like, oh yeah, no worries, I was just cruising.
Oh man, see, we usually don't get to hear that. I'm not saying there's any mind games going on. It's just typical, like, hey, we just finished a run, this is what happened. But it is fun to be able to hear what's being said. Either calling out their mistakes or, like, I like that one right there. Like, oh yeah, at the bottom I wasn't even trying. He crossed the finish line. So good. So Trevor Burke will look forward to downhill. He is now eliminated as Seth Sherlock secures himself a spot in the round of 8 here at the SilverStar Duel Slalom. They're dropping like flies here. We cut the field in half every round. Who do we have next? Jesse Melamed. For those Maxxis downhill tires. Yeah, really interesting to look at all the bike choices. It seems like a ton choosing to ride the trail bikes they were racing enduro on. Jacob Jewett, one of the few out there on a hardtail, maybe even the only one on a hardtail. But Jesse Melamed, it's really fun to watch him trying his hand at Duel Slalom, qualifying 3rd place.
I really hope that everyone does more slalom and pump track come the once we get back to the normal Crankworx series, because once they get a taste of it, I think they'll be right there. We had a round in Leger a couple years ago where everyone did it, all the top World Cup racers and stuff like that. So I love it when we get the crossover from disciplines.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. This could be the gateway to get some of those competitors over the edge to try out some other stuff. It might really shake up our king and queen of Crankworx standings once we finally get back into the World Tour.
Yeah. Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready?
All right, Lucas Cruz going up against Jesse Melamed. To make up here, he's back by 1.5, the full max differential behind Lucas Cruz. Melamed through the line first.
Close.
That was not 1.5, it was only 0.12.
That was loose. You were on it. I thought I would have had you on that one. I like rhythm section, nose case, and then like bottom or like back wheel came down like at the perfect spot, so it actually like boosted me. Dude, I did the manual and like coming out of that corner a bit late, so I was like sideways and pulling. Yeah. The inside, like the red turn, that one's there's nothing there now. I know. Or like same with this right-hander, I was like, oh, that's blown out. Worse. Oh man, I'm kind of supposed to.
All right, Elliot, you talked about that earlier, the fact that as we kind of work our way through these rounds, the course is going to change so much. You heard them bantering about just that.
Yeah, for sure. Like even, the person that came after Casper after he blew out the turn had a totally different track than they were used to the last run. So you kind of, it's also about reading the track and knowing how the track's going to change. Is a rut going to be there? Is a berm blown out now? It's definitely some strategy going on.
Where did that rut go? I love that rut. Why is it not here anymore?
It's my favorite.
So back up to the start here, Mark Wallace and Henry Fitzgerald. Mark Wallace has the advantage. It is a 0.45, so definitely manageable here for Henry Fitzgerald. Do or die, who will secure themselves a spot into the round of 8?
And these guys too. All of these guys have been racing each other for so long, so being next to even though they might not race slalom all the time, they're still comfortable next to each other.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Henry with the start here.
That was really good by Mark out of that inside turn.
So
see a lot of people blowing that out, and he really rounded it out, got it super fast. But Henry!
Oh, come on! Wow! Fitzgerald coming from behind.
Close, yeah.
Oh,
That's
wow.
sketchy up at the top.
It's gonna be close here.
Oh.
Wait to see. Wow, Mark Wallace, I mean, he had the lead the majority of the race, but Ms. Fitzgerald kind of came out of nowhere. Having the inside on that final straight definitely comes in handy.
How was it other than that?
So there you have it.
Flat corners are good, probably better than I've done before.
Mark Wallace, his performance in run number 1 pays off.
Those first 3, hey? Like, after the little No, it's like, I hit the berm weird, I think. Oh, really? Or maybe it's probably because the first 3 set me up weird in the berm. Like and then the right, left you got berm. The left before the rhythm weird? Yeah. Right into that one. Kind of both. But like the main fact was the left into the rhythm. Like too wide. Oh yeah, okay.
All right, so I'm looking at our official results here. Mark Wallace, he was able to hold on with that nice 0.45 that he had coming out of run number 1. It wasn't enough there. Henry Fitzgerald will be out of the race for today. Mark Wallace moving into the round of 8.
Yeah, 2 days ago.
All right, heat number 7 in the gate. Elliot Jameson going up against McKay Vesna. Vesna with a little bit of work to do. He's back by 0.73. So Elliot Jameson looking for a smooth, consistent run here.
I was saying, the Elliots, like there's Elliot Heath, there's Elliot Jameson. When I was racing, I feel like, the Elliots might be the fastest name. Is that a thing?
Those of you race fans out there who are procreating, if you want to breed a mountain bike racer, maybe name them Elliot. How many L's though? That's the big decision.
Oh, wow.
Oh!
Just a race fan.
I think it's funny we have the Stans logo right next to that biggest G-force on the course. There's probably going to be quite a bit of fluid donated to the outside of that berm. Oh!
I think I blew one, man. I think so.
Oh, did you see what I just did? Oh. You okay?
Yeah, I almost
Did you hear me blow my tire off?
I almost died.
Everybody's donating sealant in that left-hand berm.
Oh. Did you see that? Oh, that hurt so bad.
Chest to stem.
No, I hit my tire and burped it in the berm up top, and then blew my hand off right there. Oh. Well,
a lot can happen in 45 seconds.
That was good times.
Right. Oh. I love it. It's like everyone's like a small child when they come across the line. They're like, "Did you see me? Did you see it?"
Okay, guys.
Dad, did you see that? It's crazy. They've got these stories to tell. it takes longer than 45 seconds to tell the story of something that literally only occurred in the span of 45 seconds.
Oh, that's so true. I think one of the reasons we're seeing everyone burp their tire there is because that turn is so important. So mentally you think, I want to not break into it, so I can get the most speed coming out. But the riders who are hitting it really good are probably hitting the brakes probably like a little bit more coming in, so they can carry more exit speed and not, you know, lose traction.
Such a good point, especially as we stare up in the gate and we have some young guns who may not have that veteran foresight. These are two who just attack, so I can't wait to see them hit that left-hand berm there. Finn Isles on the right side of your screen, Jacob Jewett on the left. Oh, yes. Yes. Oh man! No way. Okay, a lot happened there in about a second and a half.
Quick field right here.
Look at Finn's bike. His tire's all the way off the rim, I think. So we got great medical staff here out at SilverStar Resort. They're going to take a peek at Jacob Jewett. Well, tough break there for the youngster Jacob Jewett, going down hard in the rollers. Luckily, we got a great medical staff out there at SilverStar Resort. They were able to scoop him up and treat his injuries. Looks like something to the left arm or wrist area. We'll update you when we hear more about that. But Finn Isles will move on into the next round of competition here at the Cliff Crankworx Summer Series. Welcome back, Cliff Crankworx Summer Series, SilverStar Duel Slalom. There's a look at our brackets as they sit right now. Those names illuminated in white mean they have the advantage moving into run 2 of our round of 8 in the men's field. And this is what we have on our hands right now. Bas van Steenbergen going up against Kirk McDowell. The advantage, 0.24, belonging to Bas van Steenbergen. So Kirk McDowell within striking distance. We haven't seen too many come from behind knockouts yet, but the night is still very young. Let's see what happens.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Both of the riders got a really good gate. Bas just pumps so good. You see all the other riders go over the rhythm section, they kind of go up in like an arc, and Bas is just going super low. The next practice they got to do.
So Bas van Steenbergen, clean and smooth through the finish line there. He had the advantage going in, so he will undoubtedly move out of the round of 8 into the round of 4.
Dude, yeah, cool. I came inside to the left-hander before the rhythm of it and just, oh really?
So all this chatter we've been, you know, yapping away about the trail bikes being the best call out here. You got Bas on the short travel slalom specific rig, qualifying first and just making mincemeat out of the competition. There's something to be said for that as well from that course designer builder. But back up to the top, this is going to be Seth Sherlock going up against Remy Gauvin. Seth, if you remember, he just powered through that final straightaway in their first run. He's got the 0.18 over Remy Gauvin.
There's a lot of pressure on Remy right now. He made a mistake last time. He's going to be thinking about that. He needs to push and not make a mistake.
Easier said than done.
Oh! He knows he has to go for it.
This will be interesting here. Seth Sherlock behind, but he's got that 0.18 to play with. Gauvin on fire. Oh, what's it going to be? Gauvin through the line first, but by how much?
Nice one.
Yeah, that was intense. That was sick.
Nice work, man.
Thanks, man.
That was real tight.
That was sick.
I got it in the magic. It's not easy.
Bringing new meaning to rubbing elbows while racing.
It'll be close, but I think for sure.
Seth is the coolest kid, I swear. I've known him since he was super tiny. His dad would work with Freeride Entertainment, rigging crazy cable cams and setups like that. And he was always just around the set when we were filming bike videos, just cruising, super curious. And now to see him making it as a pro racer is so cool. But you can tell just hearing him chatter, he's got that same personality. He's such a cool kid.
How big's that bike? It's a large, I don't know.
Why don't I just do a little cheating here? It's going to be Cruz versus Wallace. And if you look at the differential between them, it is minimal, 200ths of a second in favor of Mark Wallace. So this will be a drag race.
Pay the diesel price. Cheaper than gas.
TV ready?
You guys good?
Okay, riders, random start. Riders.
So easy math on this one. Whoever crosses the line first, there's a good chance that's going to be the rider who moves into the round of 4. This is what Duel Slalom's all about. Oh!
I heard it's like
Come on, dude.
Lucas.
Look at that.
I heard some gears skipping around.
No, that was my foot.
Oh,
my foot out before the
that's getting like.
That was scary.
Yeah. Good work.
Lucas Cruz making it happen. They're knocking out the big dog, Mark
again.
Wallace. Okay,
And I took the
watching that
battery
last
like it-
matchup, especially
supposed
from
to
the
go
drone view, it seriously looks like ski moguls. Those corners are so tight, and it's one after another, after another, after another. Boom, 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 boom. The sound of those slalom gates hitting the ground. This is such a high action course. All right. Who's Finn Isles going to be squaring up against? It's going to be McKay Vesna. Of course, we saw him in their first run. 1.12, a significant advantage to say the least in favor of Finn Isles. So McKay Vesna with some work to do.
Okay. Come on, boy.
Tell me about McKay, Elliot. This is a guy you know well.
I do. He's like the happiest guy, nicest guy ever. Insanely fit. Rides around with pro roadies all the time. Super skilled.
He'll be even happier if he's able to knock out Finn Isles. That's a lead, but he needs 1.12. Oh! McKay Vesna threw the line first, but
You're right
that
about
was
that
not
last corner.
1.12. Let's listen in.
Tight one.
So Finn Isles will advance out of this matchup, move into the round of 4, one step closer to some more points. And those points are valuable for the riders, but also for those of you who want to take part in our fantasy competition. If that sounds like it's right up your alley, go to fantasy.crankworx.com, the same way we do it for the World Tour. Click on the current event, build your team, make sure you don't blow your budget. Obviously, the riders who are statistically more likely to do well are going to cost a little bit more money, so play your cards right. And basically the goal is to beat Elliot Jackson in this, because this is right in your wheelhouse, Elliot.
Man, I'm going for it. I've been studying up for the last 6 months, getting ready for this moment. So, yeah, you're probably not going to beat me, but good luck.
So, of course, big prizes for the riders, but also big prizes out there for those of you taking part in our fantasy competition. So go place your team, and best of luck to you. All right, well, we're gonna play that little trick that we had up our sleeves earlier. Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna make it a simple question because we've got this delay and it's a little challenging. But Finn, you came out swinging. Everybody would have said, oh, well, Finn's going to do well in the downhills, but how will he do in the enduro? You won the enduro. Do you feel like everybody is kind of barking up the wrong tree thinking that you don't have what it takes in enduro. Do you feel like that's going to be one of your strong suits actually in this 3-week event?
I wouldn't say people are barking up the wrong tree, but I think that maybe people don't expect me to do as well in enduro as I do because maybe my fitness isn't as good as the enduro guys. But I think it's going to be one of my strongest events, and I'm just going to try and keep the confidence rolling from this week.
Well, rumor had it that they were still barking up another tree too. People were criticizing your bike choice for enduro, and obviously you silenced them. Tell us about how you chose to ride the bike you did for enduro.
Yeah, I saw a lot of pink bike comments about that, but the stump jumper is what I've been riding a lot lately, so I decided to go with that, and I'm confident on it. I feel strong, and yeah, I got the result I wanted out of it, so I think it's the bike I'm going to stick with for the rest of the series.
Perfect. Well, keep the momentum going, Finn. You've got 100 points to your name from enduro, and best of luck to add to that point count here in slalom. You're doing all the right things, so we're excited to see you back out on course. Get out there.
Yeah, thank you so much, Cam.
All right, men's semifinal number 1 here. Things are heating up. Looks like Remy Gauvin on the left side of your screen going up against Bas van Steenbergen. Bas has been unstoppable up to this point. And if you've made it to this point, you've also been unstoppable. So this is where things really start to get interesting in this form of competition.
I feel like Remy's probably gotten all his kind of mistakes and cleaned out.
Oh my goodness.
Bas is just a machine.
It's like, yeah, he designed it, he built it, now he's just obliterating it.
Yeah. I heard you a couple times, I was like, what's happening?
I fully insided the first right into the double left.
Oh yeah.
And then I was just weird in the rhythm, and then
I got fucking close to missing a flag at the top too.
I rode over one.
Oh, that sucked.
Nice work, dude.
So, okay, Lucas Cruz, Finn Isles in the gate here. So it'll be their second time down.
Look how concentrated Finn is right now. He is really ready to give it all he's got.
Okay, riders, random start.
I was just thinking that he's one of those people that just knows how to turn it on, like a real racer. Finn's the dude that's blowing up the track every single turn.
Wow. Finn Isles just obliterating right there.
Jesus.
0.69 it looks like. So Finn Isles setting the pace right there with a 0.69 over Lucas Cruz. And what do you make of the aggression out of this guy? I mean, he blew up his back tire in that left-hand berm and did not slow down. It's like maybe he just added a little bit more PSI because he definitely didn't reel back the aggression meter at all.
Yeah,
Not at all.
no, I think Finn only has one speed, right?
You know, I've never seen Finn really race dual slalom, so it's like making me really excited to see him do it more often on some of the other races. Well, he's got 2 more coming up, but even after this summer series is over, it'll be exciting to see him continue his slalom career, I hope.
I agree. Sure. I hope this is like a full-on gateway drug to get some of these, you know, discipline specialists to just kind of blossom outside their comfort zone. It would be great to see somebody like a Finn Isles, once we're able to kickstart back up into the Crankworx World Tour, making a run at King. And this could just be the springboard he needs to go, all right, I got what it takes in all these disciplines, you know, and maybe get him in a speed and style or something. How insane would that be?
Oh my gosh, you could be like Mitch, you know, just do everything and win everything.
Right,
Why
yeah.
not?
I would love to see Finn do a backflip.
I bet you he could do it. I remember him as like a 12-year-old on the trampoline bike at summer gravity camps. And then one of his videos on YouTube, he was learning flips into the foam pit. So I don't know. This might just be the tip of the iceberg here.
Okay.
And we've got an update right here. It sounds like Remy Gauvin in the first run against Bas van Steenbergen actually ran over a gate. You heard him in the finish line corral kind of speculating. I think I ran over a gate, so that gives him the maximum differential to try to claw his way back from under. That's a 1.5 differential there. So that is going to make going up against Bas van Steenbergen even harder, as if you need to make that any more complicated.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Yeah, and similar to the last round, you still have to push because, you know, Bas can still make a mistake, still get out of control. I mean, he's been on fire lately. I feel like that's one of the things that you have here at the top level. Once you get into semis, not only do you have to not make a mistake, but you have to be super fast. See Bas kind of easing up there at the end.
Yeah, buddy.
Safe, saving energy.
Riding good, man.
Thanks, dude. It's not something I'm comfy with, that's
So,
for sure.
Bas van Steenbergen securing himself a spot into the gold medal matchup there. Now, no big surprises here. Of course, we talked at great lengths about the fact that he designed this course, helped build this course, but also a couple second places in Crankworx World Tour Duel Slalom. So, one thing's for sure, he's looking to get on the top step of that podium here today. If it's going to happen any day, it's going to be today. He's looking absolutely flawless, but we talked about it at the top of the show, the potential collision course between your #1 qualifier, Bas van Steenbergen, and your #2 qualifier, Finn Isles, who we have loaded up into the gate right now. And that's always the best when you see that happen. The two fastest qualifiers squaring off face to face in the final round when the course has changed so much and everybody's a little bit more tired. So let's see what happens. Finn Isles has a 0.69 advantage over Lucas Cruz right now. If he can skate out of this round, we'll see that 1 and 2 qualifier face off in the finals.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Let's see if Finn blows up this inside turn.
Oh!
Lucas is riding great. Like those flat turns at the bottom, one of the best runs of the day for sure.
But is he riding 0.69 great? What's it gonna be? Oh wow, that was close. Looks like it was 0.44, so not enough. Lucas Cruz into the bronze medal matchup, and Finn Isles will go up against Bas van Steenbergen in the finals. Right on. So man, that's what dreams are made of when it comes to watching dual slalom competition out here. For the men, we're going to have Finn Isles and Bas van Steenbergen going up against each other. Both of them with their eyes on the prize for that 100 points. Neither of them want to settle for that 85. Now Casey Brown going up against, I believe, Via Verbeek, right, into the gold medal matchup for the women. So there we go. The second discipline of competition here at the Cliff Crankworx Summer Series is all about SilverStar Duel Slalom, and it's time to give away some hardware after the break. Don't leave us. What else are you gonna watch? But now, bronze medal matchup for the men. Looks like we got Remy hanging out, waiting to be joined in that start gate. The start gate that Elliot, he's learning how to be comfortable. He's becoming acquainted with that start gate this week, isn't he?
Yeah, that's so true. I swear it doesn't take much. I think we've all, because I felt the same. Crankworx was my first time doing gate starts. I never raced BMX or even went to the BMX track really. So slalom was my first gate start, and it comes relatively quick. I think we all have an idea of what it looks like to do it. And so I was just like, okay, this is what Bass and this is what Kyle looks like going off the gate, and this is what I'm gonna do.
Speaking of Kyle, question for you, Rachel. You guys have a slalom course in your backyard, but where do you guys go for gate start practices? Do you have a gate there on Straight Acres?
No, we actually talked about buying one, but we're pretty lucky. We have the Olympic Training Center 30 minutes away in Chula Vista, and they have an amazing gate there, and our buddy Tyler Brown runs the track, so he hooks it up, and we go down there every Tuesday in the off season, and yeah, it's really, really fun. But Elliot, my first gate I ever did was at Crankworx at Wells during a dual slalom, so
Yeah.
I remember being so embarrassed. But
I actually had there was at Whistler one year, there was a diving board, kind of a wooden
that was
plank.
the year. My first
Oh my God.
year.
So I was on fire. I was like riding like so good, time of my life. And then I hit the gate coming out, and I rode off the side. Like I was in round of 8 or something like that, and I hit the gate and rode off the side of the plank. And I remember Mike Day was sitting there, and he just had this look of disappointment on his face. I was super sad about it.
of all guys to see you, it'd be like Mike Day would be the
Right.
least one you'd want to see. He's like the gate champion.
It was
It's so funny,
it was
isn't
actually
it? The riders who grew up racing BMX, that's just, they eat that for breakfast. They're like a gate start, whatever. That's like the most basic. It's like holding a pencil for anybody who's past second grade, you know. But for a mountain biker, especially from a downhill background, you're like, what is this thing?
Or a cross country background, which might even be worse, which is what I come from.
All right. It looks like we're getting closer to dropping that ridiculous contraption known as a start gate. Remy Gauvin been just hanging out, chilling in that thing. Who's he squaring up against there, Elliot?
So this is going to be Lucas. And looks like I thought something might have been broken, but I think he's just trying to get in the right gear. Everyone has a gear that they like to start in. I think it's usually 4th or 5th for most people. Unless you're on a trail bike, and then it's like 15th.
There's so much stuff that goes into it too. What gear to be in, like what foot you want to have forward, and then like how cocked back you want to have your crank for your first push. There's so much that goes into it.
So I don't think Lucas is shifting, because he just said he didn't have a battery in there.
What is the world coming to?
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Technology.
I could be wrong, but I overheard that just now.
Oh! Gauvin going for a scenic cruise course side, leaving the door wide open for Lucas Cruz to grab a healthy advantage.
So that actually,
Yeah, I just like
that happens
hit the berm,
because
like, straight into the grass.
we call it like reaching. So if you lean into a turn and you're not, you lean in and your tires
like I
are
lost
a couple of inches or
so
half a
much
foot to the inside of whatever berm or turn you're trying to turn on, you'll lose traction and get off balance and oversteer like he did. So that just comes from that berm being super blown out, and the rider's not really being able to tell where it actually is going to support them at.
And let's take a look at the gold medal matchup for the men right now. The top 2 qualifiers, Finn Isles on the left side of your screen, Bass Van Steenbergen on the right. I can't wait to see how this goes.
Yeah, this is old Big Bass in the gate there. Let's see how he goes.
So,
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
comes that berm.
Wow. Bass hit that inside really good.
What are you thinking about that short travel bike right now, carrying speed through those rollers?
Yeah, seriously. What?
Oh, look at
Minnow
that!
at the very end.
Oh, wow! So real similar story here as we had in our gold medal matchup for our women's category. This is what it looks like. Finn Isles through the line first by .24. All right, Elliot. See, look at this. Look at this. The chatter has ceased now. This is where the points are on the line. Finn has 100 points. Bass has 60 points from the enduro race, and now one of them's going to get 85, one of them's going to get another 100, and it all comes down to the next time they drop into this course. Here we go, back in action to the top of the course. Time for the bronze medal matchup for the men. Let's figure out who's grabbing those 70 points. Lucas Cruz is leading the charge right now after run number 1. But if you remember, Remy Gauvin going off course, so he's obviously looking to upset that 1.5 that he has, but he needs a perfect run.
He does. He's been on the edge all day, so I feel like if he can pull it together for this last run, really pushing for it.
Woo!
In the turn. Both of them going through this berm so fast. And Lucas in these flat turns has just been like on fire all day.
Okay. Lucas.
I can't touch you.
The social distancing even while crashing. So Lucas Cruz really making a run at things here. I have a feeling, I mean, we talk about some of the young riders like Seth Sherlock and Jacob Jewett being the dark horses, underdogs. Unfortunately, we saw Jacob Jewett go down with an injury earlier on in the day of competition. But I don't know, keep your eyes peeled for Lucas Cruz to come out of nowhere here if he keeps this up.
That was a super sick.
So I have a feeling I know who Via Verbeek is going to be rooting for here in this final matchup between Finn Isles and boyfriend of Via Verbeek there, Bass van Steenbergen.
Yeah, that's, let's talk about like a power couple. I mean, both of them at the top of the Crankworx result sheet in every single event.
So Rachel, what's it like going through a race weekend, racing for yourself and your significant other?
It's pretty fun. I actually really enjoy watching Kyle compete,
So Vi is hopefully enjoying watching this matchup right now because look at Bass van Steenbergen with early lead. Man.
Oh, I wonder if he went over that gate.
Look at that. Bass van Steenbergen.
That was insane. He had that. He took an inside line.
So Bass needed to make up .24. This is what Duel Slalom's all about. Waiting for the numbers to be crunched. Whoa! Look at this. Bass van Steenbergen has done it. Bass van Steenbergen grabbing the win and 100 valuable points.
Wow.
Nice work, Finn.
Man,
So
what a
some
day.
math here,
That's, he definitely does not look happy. But that's part of it. And I think, you know, kind of what we were talking about, of just having 12 events, you know, there's only quote unquote 15 points riding on this rather than you know, thousands of dollars.
So check it out, Elliot and Rachel. I just did a little quick math, and I'm no mathematician, so of course this could be wrong, but it looks to me like Bass now has 160 points in the overall. Finn has 185. So despite not getting the win here today, Finn Isles is still able to maintain that lead by a healthy 25 points as the pressure and the anticipation builds for the next couple events here at SilverStar. Bass Van Steenbergen has a headset on. Bass, you designed the course, you built the course, you took the win. Does it get any better than this?
Yeah, I'm so stoked. To be honest, I was kind of struggling with the track. I should have made it a little bit easier, but no, I'm super happy, and it's a good way to end the long day out here.
Yeah, Duel Slalom is always such a long day. Now, in the process of designing this course, were you trying to create something that was basically a rhythm section and super challenging to just be nonstop feature to feature, or did you just end up that way?
I was really trying to make it so that there's a little bit of everything. Like, I always like it when it's mixed in a little bit more, so I definitely want it to be technical the whole way through, like technical turns, technical rhythm sections, and then some raw flat turns at the bottom. And yeah, I'm super stoked with how it turned out.
Well, you did it, Bass. You made a course with absolutely no room for error, and you were able to make it through the long day, making, I don't know, to my eyes, no mistakes. So congratulations, and what does your night look like tonight in preparation for tomorrow's racing?
I think mainly just thinking about the next Slope Durocross event, to be very honest. That's pretty much all that's on my mind these days. So, but I'll go to bed after that. I'll just visualize for about half an hour and then go to bed probably. Yeah.
Because realistically, that's all that really matters, right? Slope Durocross.
I know. I've been watching all the new track videos you've been putting out. Been studying. So once the borders open up, I'm coming for you, Cam.
Speaking of borders, my dart board still has your face on it, so I can't wait until you're able to cross that border, come down and ride with me, and we can square up against each other again. Good job today, Bass Van Steenbergen. I can't wait to see you in the downhill.
Thank you very much, Cam.
All right, go celebrate.